As iPad users, we're like a community. We just know. It's like a niche, and once you understand it, you will love it and you'll never go back. Hi everyone, welcome back or welcome if you're new here. My name is Angelica and I share all things tech, productivity, and education to make your life and school a little bit easier and a lot more fun. Today we're diving into something I and a lot of people have been obsessed with for years. The iPad. So whether you've just unboxed one for the first time or you're thinking of asking one for Christmas, or you have one and you want to do a refresh of it, this video is for you. Just warning you guys, once you really get into using the iPad, you will never go back. Personally, I've been using iPads for years. I mean, even during high school and before high school, I think I've tried them all. Right now, I'm using the iPad Air 13-inch that just came out actually this year. So I have that iPad and two other ones, the iPad mini and the iPad 10th generation, which I will be using to compare so that you guys can know which one is right for you. Once we've covered that, I'll be walking you guys through everything else on my iPad Air 13-inch with the Apple Pencil Pro. I'll be showing you guys and explaining the basics of the iPad and also showing you guys how to customize it to your personal liking, my favorite apps that I use on a daily basis, and also finishing it off with some tips and tricks that you may not know that makes the iPad super unique. Whether you're using it for work or for school or just for personal use, the iPad is so versatile and powerful, and I can't wait to show you guys everything that it could do. So grab your iPad if you have one, or just grab a coffee or something to drink, and let's get straight into it. So like I said earlier, there's various iPad sizes, and although they can mostly do the same things, after using each one, I believe that they each have their, pros and cons. First, here we've got the one that I'm gonna be using to walk you guys through everything in this video. I think this is my favorite because I just personally love big screens, to be honest. This has the M2 chip and holds 1 terabyte of storage. If you're the average passive iPad user or a student who uses the iPad for aesthetics or to take notes, you don't need that much storage. But if you use it to edit videos, make graphics, create things in general, 1 terabyte just gives you that freedom and lasts a really long time. Then we've got the iPad 10th generation from 2023. This one is 10.9 inches and has 256 gigabytes, and it has the A14 Bionic chip. It's in this beautiful bright yellow color. This is your average iPad size that most people have. It's the perfect middle. It's not too big, it's not too small. It's literally just perfect for everything. Then we've got the cutest little iPad mini. This one is brand new, that just came out last month in blue and holds 512 gigabytes of storage. So to make the most out of your iPad, the bare minimum of accessories that you should buy to complement it is the Apple Pencil. This is what makes the iPad different than a regular phone or a laptop. Here I've got the Apple Pencil Pro that actually just came out this year, and this tool is so cool with so many new features, and I'll show you guys this after. With the older iPad, just a heads up, you'll have to get the older pencils, either the Apple Pencil 1st or 2nd generation. So when you first get your iPad, think of it as a blank canvas. Even if you've had one for a while and you want to give it a refresh, you totally can. It's never too late to make it feel like it's new again. So let's start with a quick overview of what an iPad comes with and what it could do with iOS 18. Just a side note, I've updated it to the latest version of the iPad OS. This is just the beta 3 that includes Apple Intelligence, which I will download soon. But make sure for the sake of this video that you've had your iPad updated to the latest version. So you probably already know this, but you can take off the apps that you don't want from your home screen. You can make the home screen whatever you want it to be. Even if you want to remove apps that you still want on your iPad, but you don't want it to be on your home screen, you can just make it go straight to the app library at the end that includes every single one of the apps that are on your iPad. This is the app library that you can find by just scrolling to the last page. And if you want, you can even search up for apps by just scrolling down, and this will open the search bar where you can find any apps that you want. And you can also use this as a calculator if you didn't know. Just a quick side hack, I guess. And you can also use it to search up things. Like for example, if I want to look up iPad cases, it'll look it up on Google Chrome right away. Then there are widgets, which I'll dive into more when we get into customization. But basically, widgets let you add small interactive previews of the apps that are on your home screen or even your lock screen. As you can see on my lock screen, I've added widgets. So it basically lets you access key info or features that you need from those apps without actually opening the app. There's already pre-built in ones with the apps that comes with your iPad, like for example, books or clock. Tons of third-party apps offer even more options, so you can really make your iPad feel personal to you. And then there's a dock. This is the little row of apps at the bottom of your screen. It's super handy because you can add the apps that you use the most, so they're always right there no matter what focus mode you're on. And then my favorite part of having an iPad is the fact that you can multitask with it. So there's this feature called split view, which basically can run two apps side by side at the same time. So let's open Google Docs. And then let's say I want to listen to music, so I'll open my Spotify by just dragging it from the dock straight onto my screen, and it'll open this little window which is called slide over, I believe. And then you can make it into split view by just putting it like this and use this bar in the middle to make it even bigger or smaller depending on how you want to work it. It's simple once you get the hang of it and really makes your iPad feel like you're using a laptop. And then lastly, there's Control Center. When you swipe from the top right corner down, this brings up all of your shortcuts such as brightness, volume, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and even screen recording. You can even customize it by clicking this little plus button at the top. This is a new iOS 18 feature. If you click add a control on the bottom, this will pop up, which will allow you to put any new shortcuts that you want, such as voice memo and even Instagram. And something really cool is that you can drag it to make it bigger. And sometimes it'll add even more features, like I can make this one bigger and it'll show everything bigger, or I can make it smaller like that. So now that we've covered really the basics of the iPad, it's time for the fun part, which is customizing it to make it feel like it's truly yours. All right, so customizing it is by far the most fun part of having an iPad. Okay, let's start by adding a focus mode. When I open my control center, as you can see here, it says school. When I click on this, you'll see all of my focus modes. So focus modes on the iPad are super versatile and can help you manage and customize, based on your different personas and workflows, by choosing what notifications, apps, and even what your home screen looks like and behaves. So this is what my personal focus mode looks like. This is what the work one looks like, the first one for uni and for school. So each focus mode has its own home screen with a set of widgets and apps, geared towards its purpose. So to make a new focus mode, you'll have to open settings, scroll down to focus, click the little plus button on the top right corner, and then click on custom. Now you'll want to name it. So let's say I'm going to name this one just my first name. I want it to be purple and I want the icon to be a little heart. Then I'll click next, click on customize focus. A great part of focus modes that doesn't even have to do with customization is that you can just choose people that you want to receive notifications from if you're trying to focus. So by just clicking here and adding the people that you want to add, you'll only get texts and calls from them when you choose to, turn on that focus mode. All right, now that we've created a focus mode, I want you to turn off your iPad. Now turn on the lock screen and hold down the screen. This will open these windows where you can scroll and see all of your different focus modes. Now, in order to make a new one, I want you to scroll all the way to the end and add a new one. At this point, you should have already chosen a wallpaper, or you can choose one from here. Let's say I just want this cute hello one, which I'll switch to a different color, let's say the pink, and then click add. You want to set also a home screen wallpaper, and then once you're done, click set as wallpaper pair. Now, the important part to add a focus mode is that you'll want to click here on this little focus button. Once you click on that, you'll scroll down and find the one that we just made. Click on it and then X out. Perfect. Now that it's done, you'll just click on the one that we made and voila, new focus mode activated. Fun fact, but if you put your name, it'll be your name that shows up here with the little icon you chose. So this is super cute. All right, now let's go to the home screen. So in order to add widgets, I want you to hold down on the screen. Now this mimicked the home screen that I made for my other focus mode. So in order to change it and start from a blank slate, I want you to open settings again. Now that we're on our focus mode page, you'll go to customize screens and click the home screen button. So if you have already focus modes, you'll have many home screens already created, but we want to create a new one. So let's go down and pick whichever one. So let's go ahead and remove all of the apps that we don't want to show up on our home screen. And in order to not delete it, instead of when you click that little minus button and click delete app, you'll just click remove from home screen. We'll be able to add whatever apps we want afterwards, so don't worry. All right, now you want to start adding the apps that you want to add to your home screen from the App Store. Download all of the ones you want for this focus mode, and then afterwards, when you create a new one for, let's say, entertainment, you'll download the apps on that one and add it to that specific focus mode. But for now, just add the ones that you want on this one. Just a heads up, now you can put the apps wherever you want on the screen. It used to be that you have to line them up like this, but now you can just add them wherever you want to really customize it to its fullest extent. Now that we've added all the apps that we want, let's go ahead and add some widgets. Now you want to press down on the screen, go on edit on the top left corner, click, and then add widget. Now you'll see a bunch of suggested ones that you can add. These are pre-made ones. So let's go ahead and add this. and then go back on add widget. I want to add my Google Drive. You can make it super big, you can make it kind of medium size or small. I just want to add it small one. Then go to edit, add widget again, and now I want to add my clock. So I have this one right here, or I have a third-party clock app which is called Flip Clock. And then if I scroll, I'll see the aesthetic ones that kind of go with the background. So let's see, I kind of like this one, so I'm going to add it to my home screen. And you can even make it bigger or smaller once you're already in the home screen, which is a new feature of iOS 18. Let's say I don't like my drive to be this big, I can just make it smaller. So there are tons of other third-party apps on the App Store that lets you add really aesthetic and nice widgets. There's one called Widgetsmith. This is very intricate, and if you guys want me to make a video on how to customize widgets and go in even further into customization, I could totally do that. But as you can see, I've already added some pictures from Pinterest, and they've already got some widgets that you can work with. I had made this one in advance, so I'll just click this. I'll do save. So this is saved as small number 2. Then I go back on to edit, add widget, go on to Widgetsmith, and then you'll see all of the ones that you've made once you click the size. And that was a small one, so when I click add widget, it'll already add that one. And if you want to change it, you can just click on the widget and then click right here, and you can choose which one it was. Mine, it was small number 2. When I click it like this, voila, that's the one I wanted on my home screen. I still have some space here. You don't need to necessarily fill it up, but if you want to, you can go ahead and add more widgets. In Widgetsmith, I think I had made a big one that could go really well. Ooh, this one goes really nicely, but if I click on it, I have many options. This is super, super nice. And voila, that's it. Now, all of the apps don't look very nice compared to the background and what we've made here. So they've added this really cool new feature on iOS 18. When you press down, go ahead back into edit and click customize. This is a very new feature. What this lets you do is customize it to light or dark mode. You can make it automatic, which automatically switches between light and dark mode depending on the time of day. And this really cool one called tinted. On the left side here, you'll see this little sun. It'll let you switch between tinted light mode and tinted dark mode. I like light mode personally. And then you could pick the color to tint all of your apps to make them look similar in color. This is to customize it really to fit the background that you've made, because all of the apps have different kind of icon colors, so it doesn't really go with the background that you made. And with this, you can kind of make them all look similar and blend in with the background. Let's say I want it to be this purple color because everything is pink, so I don't want it to be fully pink. Try to find it, see if I can get it to look similar. I think that looks really nice. There's even an option to make the icons larger, but that will remove the name of the app, and personally I kind of like the name, so I'll just keep it small. And since tinted doesn't fully change the color of the apps to make them white and only does black, I'm just gonna leave it to the light version because personally I just like it better like this. You guys can make it look like this by adding shortcuts, but this is a very intricate customization feature that really takes a lot of time and is done through the Shortcuts app. As you can see, I have tons of shortcuts and I've pre-made the icons on a third-party app. So this is kind of intricate. If you guys want me to make a video, I will totally do that. But for now, this is what a basic customization looks like, and it already looks super cute. But yeah, you can go ahead and make it look like this if you really want to. And voila, you've customized it to look exactly how you want it to be and to make you super productive when you choose that focus mode. Your iPad can be basically whatever you want it to be. That's the beauty of it. It could be a book, a sketch pad, a TV, a notebook, a planner, a journal, and so much more. So let's start with the basics. To make the most of your iPad, you want to have the following apps. So starting with the app I think every girl who has an iPad has is Pinterest. I use Pinterest to make vision boards and to just get inspiration when I need a little bit of a boost. And of course, Spotify. I have all of my playlists here, and once you open up a playlist and play a song, you can actually add that as a widget. If you go back to widgets and scroll down to Spotify, it'll open the playlist that you were playing, and you can add it as a widget and always have it there to open when you want to listen to music. I have Prime Video and Netflix also if I want to be using my iPad as a TV. Of course, I love YouTube, but another app that I really love and that is so underrated is called Pigment. Pigment is like a coloring book, so they have these free pictures that you can use to color in using your Apple Pencil. And the nice part about this app is it's super relaxing because you can color in and not worry about going over the lines because it just colors in within the lines. There's so many options. A lot of them you have to pay for, but you can find really cool ones that are free as well. For reading, I use the Books app that is already pre-downloaded on your iPad when you first get it. Many books are free, but it's obviously not the trendy ones. If you want to get the trendy ones, you probably have to pay for it, or you can find free ones online and then download it and it goes straight into your library. And then of course, for productivity, we always have Notion. You guys have heard me talk about it so many times, but I have a semester planner on Notion that literally kept me so organized during my semesters in uni with my school schedule here. And if you scroll to the bottom, you see that I had my grade tracker here that tracked all of the evaluations I had throughout the semester, and then when I finished it, I just checked it off with all of my grades here, the weights, the task, the dates, everything was in here. I even had all of my classes in these folders, or pages they're called. When you click on it, everything is in here with all of the assignment instructions, you know, the tracker organizer of all the dates that are coming up and the due dates, even my readings, you know, grade calculator, exam prep, all of my assignments. There's nothing that kept me more organized than my Notion during when I was in school. I love to keep all of my files in Google Drive. I definitely say it's another one of my favorite apps. Another one that I really like and kept me super productive throughout my school years is Focus Keeper. It's an app with the Pomodoro technique integrated into it. So let's open it up. If you want to start studying and not get distracted, you just click study and then start, and then it just starts a timer, and then once it's done, it starts the break. You can set it to whatever time that you want, but I personally like to do 25 minutes of studying or working and then 5 minutes of taking a break. I think those are all of the apps that I use the most when I use my iPad. I think this might actually be one of my favorite parts of the iPad, but there are so many cool tips and tricks that truly make the iPad unique and fun, and you might not know about them, so here it is. You can use your hand, and the amount of fingers you use has a lot of different aspects when you use the iPad. Of course, you know that you can use one finger to swipe between pages, but with the iPad, 2 fingers lets you do a lot of things, like for example, make the keyboard smaller. If you don't want it to be this big and you just want to type with one hand, you could just make it smaller using your 2 fingers. Then you can move that around, so it makes the keyboard on your screen just super versatile. Using 3 fingers on your iPad allows you to copy paste a picture, which you can then paste anywhere that you want, and you can use 4 fingers to swipe between your apps. And then last but not least, using 5 fingers allows you to close an app. The corners of the screen on the iPad also have different features. If you swipe up from the bottom left corner, it takes a screenshot of the page you're on, but you can also make it a file by clicking full page, and it will save that entire page or article as a file that you can add into any folder by going on this little corner button right here. Save to files, and then to downloads, and voila. If you swipe up from the bottom right corner, you'll open up a quick note, and using your Apple Pencil, you can take notes on whatever you want, and that will be saved in your notes app afterwards. So something cool that I wanted to share with you guys also about the Apple Pencil is if you click on this little flat side here, it'll open this little toolbar. And then if you swipe the toolbar, you have so many tools that you can use right at your fingertips, and you don't have to go on that little button that was somewhere on the screen earlier and just switch between tools super easily. You can even click it to undo or redo as well. If these features don't work for you, all you have to do is go into settings, scroll down and go to multitasking and gestures, and you'll be able to turn on all of these productivity hacks that I'm telling you guys about, like the 4 and 5 finger gestures and the swiping finger from the corner. Another cool feature is the stack feature, which basically allows you to stack multiple things at once. So if I wanted to add all of these and then go back into my notes and add them here, I could. And then finally, something else that's really cool that you can also do on your iPhone is if you scroll down to the control center, go back to this little plus button and add a control, and then search up background noise, or it's called background sound, and you'll click on that, add it to your control center. And then when you click on it, you can hear these background noises while you study. And if you click on the little ear, you can choose which ones you want to do and the volume. So it could be dark noise, the ocean, a stream, nighttime, fire, So that's a really cool feature that they've added in your control center. And that brings us to the end of this video. I think I gave you guys a solid overview of how to make the most of your iPad. But if you guys have any other questions about tips or tricks or how I use my iPad or other apps that I use, please comment it down below and it will be my pleasure to answer you or even make a video about it. I hope this helps, and I hope you guys take full advantage of what the iPad has to offer, because it really is a really good tool. Thank you guys so much for watching, and it will really help me out if you could like and then subscribe and maybe share to a friend who could also benefit from all of these tips and tricks. I'll always update you guys with more content about my life, tips, resources, and tools on my Instagram and TikTok, so make sure you follow me there. I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!